What's up, you all? Good afternoon. I was going to be real quick today, real brief. I'm serious. So, we know about the Matrix and we know about the Blaytrix, but there's also a Gaytrix. And this was coined by a friend of mine named Duncan. But basically, what you all will find is that all of these social divisions are all a part of one system of control. This is what I figured out last year. I figured out that all of this stuff we're going through is just an illusion, and we believe it because we're emotionally attached to it. And so the matrix is real, the Blaytrix is real, and the Gaytrix is real. These are all systems of control. And so the people in charge or the beings in charge don't really care about why we have division, just as long as we have division. So the division of the people is controlled. Now, that's a hard concept for people to grasp, especially when they think they see racism, when they think they see sexism, when they think they see homophobia, when they think they see transphobia. It's hard to sell people on this all being an illusion when people claim to see these things. What folks don't realize is that you really, 99% of what we see is attached to our emotions, which means most of what we see is what we want to see. I'll say it again. Most of what we see is what we want to see. And so if you are looking for racism, you're going to find it. If you're, when they say when you're looking, when women, were looking to see, or a woman is looking to see if her man is cheating, people will say, if you look, you're going to find. Yeah, because you almost manifest it because you're so intently focused on finding it. So most of what we see is emotionally based. And I just realized last year that all of this stuff is an illusion because they're controlling it every step of the way. Now, many people will say, well, I know I felt this. I know I experienced this. I just saw a video of a young man. The police put him in handcuffs, but they weren't going to arrest him. And it's funny because just seeing the police with someone from our community automatically makes you think it's wrong. You automatically think it's wrong because you see a police officer with someone from our community. It's an automatic emotional attachment and reaction. This is how they're going to get you all to say we don't want the police, even though 99.9% of you all have never had an adverse encounter with the police, even though police encounter people millions upon millions upon millions of times a day, and the results are 99.9% peaceable. So this notion that the police are a problem is absolutely ridiculous because you look at it in totality, 0.00001% of the time, there's a problem with the police. And I'm not even going to say that it's all the police, the police fault. I'm going to say that we're talking about millions upon millions of interactions that leave without most people don't even get a ticket. You know that most police interactions, most people don't even get a ticket. Forget death, forget murder, forget police brutality. 99.9% of the police interactions, most people don't even get a ticket. They don't even get a citation. And they're selling you on the police being a problem. Why? Because they want you to vote and get rid of the police, and you can almost guarantee what they're going to replace the police with is going to literally be worse than slavery. Literally. You're going to have armed people with guns that tell you that you don't have any rights. And them killing you won't make the news. It won't be a big deal. What they replaced the police with, somebody said, I get tickets, Blanche. Most people don't get tickets. How do you know this? All you got to do is just look at the number of traffic stops. Look at the number of traffic stops and look at the number of citations issued. Just go look it up. Go look at the number of people stopped in traffic or stopped walking or whatever reason, and look at the number of citations, and I guarantee it's going to blow your mind. Somebody said I had horrible encounters with the police, but the funny part is the policemen were black. I know the police ain't looking for. Listen, my whole point is to bring all this up is that these are all systems of control. And what they've done is they've conditioned us. To have these emotional reactions so that we don't think. So defund the police sound like a good idea until you had them replaced with someone implementing martial law. When you listen and outside your house, you can hear a loudspeaker saying, must be in the house by 9 p.m. I'm just telling you all what the alternative to the police is. And for those of you all say that we can police our own communities, they're working for the system. Because we cannot police our own. We don't even tell on the killers. We don't even tell who did the crimes. There's no way in the world a community that says don't snitch. There's no way in the world a community that says don't snitch could police themselves. There's no way. How are you going to hold the killers accountable? I saw a great quote today. It said, there's this weird thing where black people aren't allowed to say anything negative about other black people publicly, or they will be talked about publicly by other black people for doing so. And that's how we have predators in our communities. So the reason why we don't tell is because we don't want to be held accountable. So the reason why someone doesn't want you talking in front of white people is because they don't want you to hold them accountable. Because if you can't speak in front of white people, there's no way on God's green earth you're going to speak in front of somebody that you actually love and respect. It's not going to happen. So it's just a way to not be accountable. But this is a trick of Satan. I'm going to read the quote again. There's this weird thing where black people aren't allowed to say anything negative about other black people publicly, or they will be talked about publicly by other black people for doing so. And that's how we have predators in our community. So what you all don't realize that the degenerates of society, the scumbags, the lowlifes, the deplorable people, they're running rampant because we've created a culture of non-accountability. They're running rampant because we've created a culture of non-accountability. But this black culture is not just black culture. This black culture stems from liberal culture. And liberal culture stems from Satan. Because Satan's going to say, do as you will. Do as thou wilt. Right? Do as thou wilt. In other words, do what you feel like doing. The problem with that is what we feel is not necessarily based in reality. What we feel is heavily based in what we want. So when someone says, do as thou wilt, what they're really saying is, let your selfish nature run wild. That's what they're really saying. Because most of our feelings stem from a selfish standpoint and point of view. But the people in our community are able to get by with so much egregious and heinous acts is because we don't hold each other accountable. And that's because of black culture, which stems from liberal culture, which stems from Satan. Satan doesn't believe in accountability. I don't know if y'all know this yet. Satan does not believe in accountability. Satan believes that you should be accountable to who? Yourself. Because Satan knows if you're accountable to yourself, you're going to destroy yourself. If you're accountable to you, you're going to destroy yourself because you aren't going to do what's right. Your human nature is selfish from the jump. As a baby, you come out the womb crying. You come out the womb wanting to be warm. You want to feel comfortable. You want to be held. A baby is selfish. We get taught how to be unselfish. Just like character is something you have to build on your own, we get taught how to be unselfish. Human nature is to be selfish. This is why God has on his character walk. But I want to get to my point, though. I want to get to my point. I don't want to be rambling off, all this time. So remember when Zaya Wade went to the Pride Festival with, I'm assuming the family, but I'm going to pick Gabrielle Union. Now, most of our women in our community, are going to support the transgender movement. We're going to support it because they told us that we were oppressed. So anything that looks like oppression, we'll gravitate to it. So our women, on top of Black Girl Magic, on top of being a queen, our women are gravitating to the trans movement because we feel like the trans community is being oppressed. They're being denied. So a lot of our women are very huge components in supporting the trans movement, even though the trans movement literally goes against women. How does it go against women? Well, you can already tell because, they call regular women cisgender women. Once they give you another name besides you being a woman, they're already putting you in a category. And I guarantee in a few years, you being cis is going to be a negative connotation. They're not going to say you cis because you're a great person. They're calling you something different because they're putting you in a lesser status. Okay. Anyway, somebody said Black women don't support that. Well, I'm sorry to tell you all, but the biggest advocates I've seen for the trans community are the women of our community. And you can almost guarantee that any woman in our community that has a position of power, she supports the trans movement. You can pick anybody. Just go through your head right now and pick any woman that has power, and I guarantee from our community, and I guarantee she supports the trans movement. Because they got you because they told you that you were oppressed. So once you feel oppressed, you'll identify with anybody you think is oppressed. It's all a setup. BLM was an entire movement founded by lesbians and transgenders. BLM was, the women have trans spouses. Matter of fact, even in what they talked about trans being in leadership. So you can't tell me that our women don't support it when our women created BLM Global Network, Black Lives Matter Global Network, and they literally said, we want trans in leadership. Why do you think Joe Biden hired a trans person when he first got in office? Why do you think he fired the Black man and then hired the trans? Listen, you don't have to take my word for any of this. All you got to do is just sit back and pay attention to what's going on. I'm trying to find this thing real quick for you all, what BLM said that was on their website before they took it down. I'm gonna try to read it to you all so y'all can get a good picture of how deep this goes. And I'll admit, when I actually read the mission statement from Black Lives Matter Global Network, and notice it says Global Network. Black Lives Matter Global Network is a global movement. So Black Lives Matter is going to be synonymous with the trans movement. Because the movement is really about trans rights. It's not about your rights or my rights or anybody else's rights for that matter. It is about trans rights. And I just saw it on here and I just scrolled past it. But I just want to find, I remember I told someone that said this, I showed it to them, they didn't believe it. He said, I went to the website, it wasn't on there. I said, yeah, they took it down. You're lying. They just didn't want to believe it. Still wearing BLM shirts, still don't care. So our women support the trans movement. Why wouldn't they though? Because our women support feminists. Like you got to think, all these movements coincide. So whether it's Black Lives Matter, whether it's trans, whether it's climate, all this stuff's the same. It's all the same people controlling all these movements. It's the same people controlling them. They just look different. You know, it's no different when you used to go to the store. I used to go to the store with my grandparents, and you know, you used to want stuff like, you know, I'm older, but like, was it Sugar Smacks, Honey Smacks, and you want, corn flakes, Frosted Flakes. You know, you wanted but they had the cheaper versions. So you know the names like Puffs of Wheat, Flakes of Frost. You know the generic brands of the cereals. All the same cereal, probably all made in the same factory, just packaged different. All the same stuff, just packaged different. So what they do is they have a whole bunch of different movements, and they're all fighting against social injustice. So you have, like, remember that cereal Honeycombs? It'd be like combs of gold and honey, the generic version. And they used to make the names of the generic cereal always sounded better than the regular cereal. They used to come in a bag. I don't know if y'all remember this. They used to come in a bag. Yeah, Fruit Rounds, yeah, AKA Fruit Loops, exactly. Y'all know what I'm talking about. But my point is, all of this, all of those movements are like the cereal. It's the same thing, it just looks different. So whether it's climate change, whether it's the trans movement, whether it's the gay movement, whether it's Black Lives Matter, whether it's the fight against racism, whether it's the feminism, it doesn't matter what the movement is, they're all controlled by people that are on the top who ultimately want to enslave you. This is how they get you all to give up your rights. This is how they don't get you all to give up your guns. You're going to give up your guns because they're going to make you feel bad about having guns. It's not difficult. The same way they can get you to not hold your own people accountable is the same way they can get you to give your guns up. They just make you feel bad about doing it. It's not hard. It's easy. They make you feel bad about not wearing a mask. They make you feel bad about not drinking the Jim Jones juice, AKA the snake bite, AKA the shot that'll get you more than tipsy. I just saw that BLM thing on my phone, and I passed it up. I was scrolling so fast, and I tried to go back to it and stop it. I think I might have found a piece right here. Okay. Here we go. Listen to this, y'all. We are self-reflexive and do the work required to dismantle cisgender privilege. That is, cisgender is heterosexual man, heterosexual woman. We are self-reflexive and do the work required to dismantle cisgender privilege and uplift Black trans folks, especially Black trans women who continue to be disproportionately impacted by trans antagonistic violence. So, based on that paragraph alone, Black Lives Matter Global Network is not about Black lives. Just based on that paragraph alone, Black Lives Matter is not about Black lives. Now, many of you all are going to still support Black Lives Matter, even though the people are saying this. You're still going to support them because you're emotionally attached to being Black. But what you all are going to find out very soon is that the LGBTQP, don't forget X, Y, and Z community, is going to completely take over Black culture. That means in order to have access to Black culture, you're going to have to go through the LGBTQP, don't forget X, Y, and Z community. I know what I'm saying sounds far-fetched, but you're really going to see this. If you notice, all these agendas get pushed by our people. All these agendas get pushed by our people. Somebody said that Black Lives Matter is a government psyop. It's a little more than a government psyop. Black Lives Matter is the Trojan horse for the getting rid of women. The end goal of Black Lives Matter is to get rid of women by first destroying the family. Once the family is destroyed, all women are left unprotected. And I guarantee you all, when they get rid of all the real men or the real men separate from society, real women are going to have a tough time because everybody's going to attack you all. Everybody. The trans are going to attack you. The gay, everybody's going to attack real women. They showed y'all in Handmaid's Tale. They showing y'all the future. So you all are ushering this stuff in, and it has grave consequences. This is why they're empowering women and uplifting women and tearing down men for this very reason, because the men are your protection. The men are your protection. So they can get you to go against, if they can get you to go against the men and make the men leave you all alone, then guess what? Who you gonna be left with? You're gonna be left with a lot of feminine men, a lot of immature men, or a lot of trans men, or trans whatever they are, transformers. And I'm telling you right now, when men aren't mature, when men are immature, when men are feminine, they turn violent against women. When men are immature, when men lack discipline, when men are feminine, they turn violent against women. So your protection will be gone, because these same people that you all are championing right now in this movement, this trans movement, they are going to turn against you, and they are going to put your head up under their foot. We are self-reflexive and do the work required to dismantle cisgender privilege and uplift Black trans folks, especially Black trans women, who continue to be disproportionately impacted by trans antagonistic violence. Part of the propaganda with the trans movement is they want you to believe that anytime a trans person gets killed, it's because they were trans. What that says on the other side is that trans people are perfect. They're saying that trans people don't ever do anything wrong that warrants them to get killed, even though everybody else does things in life that warrant them to get killed. People steal, people lie, people cheat, people commit murders, commit crimes, people do all kinds of things where the consequence to their actions is murder. Not justifying the murder, but most human beings don't get a pass to say because we're human, we're being killed. But the trans community gets to say because we're trans, we're being killed. So that basically says that all trans people are good and never do anything wrong. It's a setup. It's a psychological setup. This is how you get our women to champion their cause, because subconsciously our women think that trans haven't done anything wrong when trans people are just like everybody else. They lie. Trans people lie, cheat, steal, kill, do everything everybody else does, trans people do. Everything everybody else does, gay people do. But they're separating the classes, and they're putting the gay and trans people on a higher moral plane. I said they're separating the classes, and they're putting the gay people and trans people on a higher moral plane. You never see the media do negative press on gay or trans people. There's a reason behind that. It's propaganda. We build a space that affirms Black women and is free from sexism, misogyny, environments in which men are centered. So now the first paragraph was about trans. Now the second paragraph is about Black women. Why would they throw Black women on the second paragraph? Because they're going to need some muscle for the movement. The men aren't going to do it. No real man's going to go out there and fight for Black Lives Matter. That's no real man. So they're going to need women. So they add women on the second paragraph. The tie-in for the women is that you'll be free from sexism, misogyny, and environments in which men are centered. It's funny that people say that men are centered, but men are the ones building and creating everything. Why wouldn't men be centered? Think about that. If men are out there building and creating everything, why wouldn't men be centered? The irony of that statement is women don't do a portion of what men do socially, which is building up the infrastructure around the planet, but yet women get all the credit and all the praise. Women don't do a fraction of what men do on this planet as far as building up infrastructures, but they get all the praise. So if a woman just overcomes alcoholism, she gets praise for that. If a man does, they're going to say he shouldn't have been alcoholic. And I'm not diminishing anybody what they overcome. I'm simply saying that they're giving undue praise to women for a reason. So to say that men have a centered existence is false. How can men have a centered existence when all the commercials, all the industries, everything targets women? Think about it. Look at all the holidays. All the stuff targets women. It don't target men. Weddings are for women. Rings for women. All this jewelry, everything targets women. So how are men centered when all the propaganda is geared towards women? It's in the movies, it's in the TV shows, on social media, it's everywhere. It's a feminine dominated world now. Not physically, but media wise, entertainment wise, visually wise, it's women dominated. That's how Gabrielle Union can take this Zaya Wade to the gay pride. Nobody say nothing. Could you imagine if a father took his daughter to gay pride? You think folks would be clapping and happy? You think folks would be happy if a man took their child to gay pride weekend? Do you all know what goes on at gay pride weekend? Do you all know what tell me, is gay pride a place for a child? Yes or no? Is gay pride a place for a child? Yes or no? The answer is no. So why would Gabrielle Union be celebrated for taking this child to gay pride when we all agree that gay pride weekend or gay pride parade is not a place for children? Why would she get celebrated? Why would she get celebrated for taking this child to gay pride weekend? And you know good and well what's at the gay pride weekend. It's all debauchery and all manners of decadence and foolishness. But she got praised for doing it. We practice empathy. We engage comrades with the intent to learn about and connect with their context. So the first paragraph was about trans. Second paragraph, black women. Third paragraph, you see the word comrades, is about communists. So we got trans, black women, and we got communists. I want you all to pay attention to that. Trans, black women, and communists. That is going to be your future social justice movement. Trans, black women, communists. That's going to be the future social justice movement. Mark my words. And they're not going to play fair, and they're not going to be nice. We make our spaces family friendly and enable parents to fully participate with their children. When they say parents, that means not men. That word parents means women, trans men, does not mean heterosexual men. We dismantle the patriarchal practice that requires mothers to work double shifts so that they can mother in private even as they participate in public justice work. So tell me what system has women working double shifts? What system has women working double shifts? What man is making a woman work double shifts besides a pimp? Well, she got to work all the shifts. But what system or what man has women making women work double shifts? How is that tied to the patriarchal society? Because a woman has to work double shifts. More than likely, if she's working double shifts, she's probably single with children. So what they're telling you is, if you're single with children, you shouldn't have to work. That's why their solution is so they can mother in private, even as they participate in public justice work. So imagine women getting paid. Imagine women getting paid to be social activists. But again, I just told you all, the movement is going to be trans, black women, and communists. So imagine people in the future being paid to protest and riot. But mark my words, they're not going to be rioting and protesting and marching against the government. They're going to be rioting, protesting, marching, and looting against us, against the regular people, against the regular people. So that's the setup. All this BLM movement is not to go against the system because they're working for the system. They're going to be going against the people that choose to be normal, people that choose to have a family, people that choose to have character, people that choose to have honor, people that refuse to say that men can get pregnant and have a menstrual cycle. They're going to be going against the regular people, not the system. I say this again, anybody out there fighting against racism is working for the system. Another paragraph, we disrupt the Western prescribed nuclear family structure requirement by supporting each other as extended families and villages that collectively care for one another, especially our children, to the degree that mothers, parents, and children are comfortable. Notice no men are mentioned. So imagine in the future, they're going to have communities filled with communists, black women, and transgenders. Communists, black women, and transgenders in huge communities. And their job will be to stomp out and weed out anybody that dare would have a normal life on this planet, that dare believe in God, that dare believe in man, woman, and child as a family, that dare, all those ideas are going to be, you're going to be hunted down by these groups. Trans, black women, and communists. This is the future. And I know this stuff sounds far-fetched, and I know it sounds crazy, and I know it sounds like it's not going to happen, but I'm telling you right now, most people are going to beg for this existence because most people don't have any character. Most people are looking for someone to blame, I look at my entire life, and I can honestly say, I don't believe not one time did racism ever hinder me from anything. Never. Every time I failed in my life, it was because I failed. It was my fault. And most of the time we fail in life, we don't give 100%. You've never failed giving 100%. So most failures in life come from a person not applying themselves 100%. Most failures happen when a person's not all in. Because once you're all in, you get God involved. Once you're all in, the universe knows you're serious. You see, once you all in, everything that's for your success gets activated. Because this system is set up for us to be successful, believe it or not. The way God set this up, everything is pushing us to be successful. Everything is nudging us to be successful. We got to just submit to being who God wants us to be. We foster a queer affirming network when we gather. We do so with the intention of freeing ourselves from the tight grip of heteronormative thinking, or rather, the belief that all in the world are heterosexual unless she/he or they disclose otherwise. So basically, BLM's goal is to get rid of heterosexuality. The devil's always in the detail. I told you all that this whole racism, Black Lives Matter, Black culture movement was going to usher in the Antichrist. I told you all this. I told you all this. I saw this last year, that all is an illusion. I went through my own life and I said, when has racism stopped me? Never. So I said, it's all a farce. It's all a farce. Because if nothing is greater than God, then how can something on this earth stop me? If I come from the Most High, it's impossible. So what they did was they got y'all to question the existence of God. Then they got y'all to say the devil wasn't real. So now you got Lucifer ain't real and God can be what I think God is. Now you lost. We cultivate an intergenerational and communal network free from ageism. Ageism, and they gave you a clue now. Free from ageism. Think about this now. Think about people trying to stay younger. Think about folks getting older. And think about ageism. What are they saying? What are they really saying? We cultivate an intergenerational and communal network free from ageism. So you got folks that want to be older, you got folks that want to be younger, but if we dig through all of those weeds, what do we see? Ageism, children. You can't say a person can't do something because they're too young. That's what this fight against ageism is. You see how they all went in order. The devil's in the details. I'll go through it again. The details are they went from trans, black women, communists, single mothers working in the fight, get rid of the family, get rid of heterosexuality. Now we on the ageism. Now we on to the children. They're going to tell y'all that a child has the right to choose. They're already doing it in California where if a child's a certain age, the parent can't advise them on anything medically. It's between the child and the doctor. They're already doing it. They're already empowering the children. And once they give the children full control, they're going to unleash pedophilia. But guess what? You all will have yourselves to blame, and you all are going to burn on Judgment Day. You all are going to burn on judgment. You're going to be destroyed on Judgment Day. You're going to be destroyed because it's going to play back this tape, and all along the way, you all supported all this stuff you knew was foolish. You knew it was wrong, but you supported it because it made you feel good. And y'all are going to burn. We cultivate an intergenerational and communal network free from ageism. They're talking about the children. We believe that all people, regardless of their age, show up with the capacity to lead and learn. That's why you have Greta Thunberg over there running her mouth. That's how you have Zaya Wade being the face for the transgender movement. He's a child. Look what they're telling you all. They're telling you all that children should be able to operate as adults. They're going to unleash pedophilia on you all, and you all are going to be sick because they're going to make it illegal for you all to go against it. They're going to make it illegal for you all to go against it. Then I want to see how much y'all going to fight then. I want to see how much y'all going to fight against the system when the system is telling you you can't go against pedophilia. I want to see y'all bucked in. Because going against pedophilia in the future going to land you in jail. Going to land you in prison. So I really want to see how tough y'all are then when they got your children up by the neck, stringing your children up. I really want to see it then. I'll read it again. These paragraphs went in order. The devil was in the detail. We cultivate an intergenerational and communal network free from ageism. We believe that all people, regardless of age, show up with the capacity to lead and learn. They are talking about your children having sex with adults. That's what all it is about. Last paragraph says, we embody and practice justice, liberation, and peace in our engagement with one another. Listen to me. We embody and practice justice, liberation, and peace in our engagements with one another, not you all. This is for their people, not you all. These are their commandments, not you all. What I just read are the commandments for this new movement, this new transgender movement, and eventually the transhumanism movement. They're going to have justice, liberation, and peace in their community, not with you all. They're going to wreak havoc on you all. Any of you all that dare to want to be regular, dare to want to be normal, dare to want to have principles, morals, and standards, they're going to hunt you all down. Mark my words. I just went through the whole list of what BLM had in their mission statement, and we was out there supporting them, and we still supporting them. So when it comes to my people, I don't listen to my people because my people are going to usher in the Antichrist. Because my people don't want to look in the mirror and say, you know what, it might just be my fault. You know what, I'm going to wrestle with the possibility that it just might be my fault. I'm halfway done. I ain't even got what I want to talk about. Now they got this boy 14 years old, kissing another. Okay, hold on. So let me tell you what they're showing you now. They showing you the boy is saying he's a girl, and the girl is saying she's a boy. So they done inverted and flip-flopped and crisscrossed it. The boy, look what they did to y'all now. Look what they did. They switched the genders. So now the men become the women and the women become the men. All Satan did was take what God originally did and just flipped it. And y'all want to be so woke and so deep and so knowledgeable, and this stuff is so simple. All the devil does is invert the truth. That's it. So if it's man and woman, I ain't got to get rid of men and women. I just flip them. I just flip them. The Jewish Talmud, you look it up, the Jewish Talmud has 8 genders. The LGBTQ movement comes from the Jewish Talmud. And they get you in the LGBTQ community because most gay people feel like because they're gay, they're fighting against some kind of system. They don't even realize you could be gay or straight, you still gonna be part of the system. You're not fighting nothing. I used to always hear that term, gay pride, gay pride, gay pride. And I said, well, when I was young, I was taught that pride comes before the fall. So if pride comes before the fall, then how could it be good to say you was black and proud? How could it be good to have gay pride? If pride comes before the fall, which is a statement that is timeless and it's truthful and factual, then how could black pride be good? How could gay pride be good? If pride comes before the fall. You see how the devil works? The devil gets you to go against your own wisdom and your own logic. All the devil has to do is just flip it. So he got this little boy on here kissing he got this boy kissing this girl, and they 14 years old. And I saw a bunch of women from my community defending this. These are 14-year-old children. If I had my daughter kissing her 14-year-old boyfriend, you all would try to destroy me. You all would try to cancel me. If I had my daughter kissing a boy and I was okaying it, taking pictures of it, you all would try to cancel me. So why do you accept it when D. Wade and Gabrielle Union does it? I'll tell you why. Because they're doing it under the umbrella of the LGBTQP, don't forget X, Y, and Z community. This is how you know that movement is going to bring about pedophilia. Because they're doing it under the guise of the LGBTQP, don't forget X, Y, Z community, you can't question it. There's a protection that comes with that. That's how people will cheer this on, but not with their own children. These are 14-year-old children kissing and getting endorsed by their parents only because they're trans. Any other situation, this is wrong. So imagine 2 standards in society. Standards for trans and standards for everybody else. Imagine 2 standards in society. Standards for trans and standards for everybody else. I keep telling you all, look at what they're doing. Look at what they're doing. They're getting you all to put these people on a higher moral plane. So when you see them doing all kind of manner of evil and wicked and decadence, you won't question it because you feel like they have the right to do it. It's all a setup. In 2020, they told you all that you all had the right to tear the streets up because of what some white people did. It's the same thing. It's the same tactics put with different groups of people. It's the same thing. It's the same exact thing. It just looks different because you're emotionally attached to one group over the other. It's the same thing. We should have been outraged at this boy doing this kissing. And they got this boy as a spokesperson for the trans movement. So that if the trans movement is going to use children, then how you going to question them? Because everybody's going to say, these are children. Let these children do what they're going to do. The same way they told men, oh, he just being a man. Men are going to be men. All men are dogs. These are all psychological statements. Children are just children. Let children be children. Let children be free. It's the same thing. The only problem is the folks controlling this work for Lucifer. That's the problem. It's not about a person being gay or trans. It's about what the movement's going to usher in. It's not about you being black or proud. It's about what the movement's going to usher in. That's why I keep telling you all, anybody out there fighting against racism, anybody out there fighting for their trans rights, anybody out there fighting for gay rights, anybody out there fighting for women's rights, they're all working for the system because all of those things are controlled by the system. They're all things controlled by the system. And everybody wants to not talk about this boy kissing this boy. This boy done been to the gay pride. This boy done been to the gay pride and seen everything. Then the boy said he becomes a girl. Now he's kissing a transgender boy. What's next? So we done went from gay pride, we done went from him being gay to the gay pride march to transgender to kissing this boy, girl, whatever, to what's next? It's a progression now. What's next? There's a progression. What is next? It doesn't stop here. What's next? And I see my community defending this madness. This is going to be the same movement that destroys what's left of our community. The LGBTQ community is going to completely take over black culture, completely. That means you're going to have to be a part of that community to indulge in black culture. Which brings me back to the Gaytrix. So coined by Duncan. The Gaytrix. And I realize that there are systems of control for everybody. We just have emotional attachments to one over the other. We got emotional attachments from one over the other. I want to find this clip for you all. Then hopefully they saved it. I want to find this clip. There are many people that don't want me to speak because they don't want me to tell you all the truth. They don't want me to connect the dots for you all. They don't want me to tell you all that all this is a setup. It's all a setup. It's literally all a setup. All of it. They want me to be quiet and talk about the normal stuff. Being black, being oppressed, it's white folks' fault, all that. That's that. Nobody has a problem with me talking like that. Nobody has a problem with me cracking jokes and being a comedian. But the moment I get serious and connect one dot, oh, now it's a problem. I've been called more racial slurs by my own people than I've ever been called by white people in my whole life, ever. I've only been called one racial slur in my entire life, one time. I've been called the N-word one time in the 7th grade in my entire life. In the past 2 years, I've been called every racial slur under the sun by my own people. My own people. So when it comes to being racist, my life has shown me that y'all have been way more racist to me than white folks could ever have been. Could ever have been. I want y'all to listen to this. Listen.
The ambiguity of the bill is clear. However, a close inspection of this bill does allow for the legalization of the killing of innocent newborn children up to the age of 28 days. A yes vote is an unequivocal and complete approval of the legalized killing of a newborn baby, and with all of my heart, I oppose AB 2223 and urge you to vote no.
Thank you very much. We will go to witnesses.
The ambiguity of the bill is clear. However, a close inspection of this bill does allow for the legalization of the killing of innocent newborn children up to the age of 28 days. A yes vote is an unequivocal and complete approval of the legalized killing of a newborn baby, and with all of my heart, I oppose AB 2223 and urge you to vote no.
Thank you very much. We will go to.
So what we see here is we see that they're going to start doing full-term abortions. Now, the whole abortion fight, and a lot of you all are so silly, and really being black removes you from being of God. Because once you're black, you have to be dumbed down to be black. You can't be a higher vibrational being. You can't have a higher consciousness. Once you're black, you're already dumbed down because now you're reactionary to everything. Just look at the black community, look at black people, they're reactionary to everything. That's what being black is you're controlled. So black people are championing the abortion movement. That's why when you see women going against abortion, when you see women protesting against abortions and all this, it's never our women. It's never our women going against the greatest detriment to our people. It's never folks from our community going against Planned Parenthood. Never. Even though there have been an estimated almost 30 million abortions in our community alone since the 1970s. And no one from our community is fighting against it. I only see white people fighting against abortion. So you mean to tell me these white folks are so racist that they want to fight for you to keep your child? Y'all mean to believe that these white people are so racist that they want to fight and risk it all for you to keep your child? This is what you're telling me. I told you the devil deals with inversion. He's going to make you think what is good is bad and what is bad is good. The whole abortion kick and movement, somebody said 44 million and counting. 44 million and counting abortions since the 70s. That's a whole separate nation of people. And you all are championing all these causes that are literally going to lead to your destruction. To be black is to be controlled, because to be black means you have to be dumbed down to be black. You can't have a higher level of thought being black, because in the black mind, your master is white people. In the black mind, your master is white God. That's your master. What white people say and do rules over you when you're black. The whole point of abortion, the whole abortion movement, yes, over 1,000 abortions a day for our community. The whole abortion movement was to get you all, women, black girl magic, queens, feminists, all races of women really, all races of women, to have their child alive for a certain period of time. See the child laugh, see the child cry, breastfeed the child, rock the child to sleep, care for the child, see the child laugh, see all these things, and then on the 28th day, you kill the child. On the 28th day, you kill the child. You see, y'all thought Planned Parenthood was something good because it sounded good. No, Planned Parenthood was about you all taking it back to the old days and sacrificing your child to Satan. Because you see, the devil requires blood. The devil will always require a blood sacrifice. But the most valuable blood the devil has is innocent blood. Satan wants innocent blood. The most valuable blood is that adrenochrome. They want that innocent blood. So they want you as women to show your empowerment, show your independence, show your strength, and murder your own child after you done took care of it for a certain period of time. And you're going to kill the child, and you're going to be proud to do it. And they're going to tell you, let the woman choose. They're going to tell you, my body, my choice. They're going to tell you, my child, my choice. I'm telling you what they're going to do. They're going to get y'all to take it back to the old days where you sacrificed the child to Satan. You sacrifice the child to the false god. This whole abortion thing has been about full-term abortions, where the child comes out alive and then you kill it. And then you kill it. And y'all thought this whole time they was empowering y'all. No, it's the devil. The devil's in the details. The devil deals with inversion. I keep telling you all, it's a setup. They got this boy on here hugged up, 14 years old, get to be laid up. What's next? 14 years old, get to be laid up. What's next? 14 years old, get to change their sexuality. And keep in mind too, the whole agenda deals with sex, because socially, there's no difference between gay, straight, or trans, or bi, or pan, or whatever. Because everybody walk on sidewalks. Most folks wear shoes, put on clothes. People do stuff socially the same. So if we socially interact the same, then what would I need to learn about trans, gay, and binary, non-binary, and pan, all this stuff? I'll tell you, the sexual practices. Because all the stuff on the outside is not the same. So now you want me to know what you do behind closed doors. The entire movement is about sex. The entire movement is about sex. And it's about fornication. It's about sex outside of marriage. It's about sex of the same. It's going to expand the sex with animals. It's going to expand the sex with children. It's going to mix it. Tell you what it's going to be. That's the whole purpose of it. Because socially, we're all the same. So honestly, I shouldn't know what someone does in the privacy of their own home. This is how you know the whole entire movement's about sex, because socially, we all interact the same way. Come on, y'all. It's a setup. And when I talk like this, all folks can try to do is try to pick out where he's wrong at, where he's wrong. Where he's wrong. It don't matter if I'm wrong. You can still die being right. Just because I'm wrong don't mean that because you're right, you're not going to die. If I'm wrong and you right, you're just going to die right. You don't get no reprieve, no solace from being right. You think you done proved something? What difference do it make? Their goal for you is death. They want your soul. And more valuable than your soul is the soul of your children. Because your children, if they're a part of this mess, will dedicate their entire life to it. You might have had a chance to wise up and turn and become better in your life. But the child's going to make this way of life a living. They're going to live this way. Their principles and morals are going to be founded in decadence and wickedness and evil. They got these people. Now these people, these parents, are clout chasing with their child. You know how much money they making off this boy? Do you know what they're doing? They're making it to where you can't say anything negative to them. You can't hold them accountable. And they flipping roles. Remember Gabrielle said that D. Wade, he loved getting his salad tossed. D. Wade said, she said that D. Wade loved getting his salad tossed. Now, why would she go to the public arena and say that? Why would Gabrielle Union tell the world that she wanted to, that D. Wade loved getting his salad tossed? because they showing you inversion. She acting like the man, he acting like the woman. I wanna find this clip. Here you go, I found it. I found this clip. This would be.
When a new jack come in prison, right, he don't have no imagination what's going on in prison. He don't understand who's who, what's what, right? Most all young guys come in prison, they will try to find a homosexual first to find out who got the drugs, who to talk to, who not to talk to, you know, which back swings to move on, right? In certain jails, you have a lieutenant standing up there, and when guys come in, everybody's standing up there and they point down, yeah, that young motherfucker's mine, that's mine. I talk to a lot of them because I'm on the reception side, right? And I see the fear in them. So I know, right, I can give them to a shark or a barracuda. If I sell a guy, believe me, I'm going to get something out the deal. First of all, right, if he's a newcomer, right, I want him to suck my ass jelly. What they call toss the salad. That's the slang word, toss the salad. It means sucking my ass, right? With jelly or without jelly. Some people use syrup. I prefer a guy to use jelly, right? I will reach my climate, right? I will automatically get hard, right? I will, you know, come automatically if he's sucking my ass for about 10 minutes or longer, right? It's a sensation feeling. It makes you feel real good. Most all gays do that. You know what I'm saying? Like guys to suck their ass. It's just like a pussy, right? But the only difference is it's not a pussy, right? It's clean. The person is decent, and the person know that that's an asshole, but in mind, he's looking at it as a pussy because he's in prison. So, toss my salad. Let him eat me, you know, we straight. That's it. The most hazardous thing in prison life is being in debt over drugs. They can get you killed or raped, one or the other. You can't pay. I had one opportunity where 3 guys, 2 of them owed me money, right? So I knew I couldn't get them together. So what I did, I got one day on a Saturday. I sucked his dick in the closet. You know what I'm saying? I sucked his dick, you know, I had his pants down. He helpless. That's it, he's helpless, right? His dick hard, I'm sucking on it, right? I can't right up and I cut him. And that's why I left the man in the closet. He didn't tell, but he couldn't explain. How could he explain that a fag sucking his dick and come up and cut him? He couldn't explain that. There's no way in hell he can explain it to the administration.
So, again, I told y'all about progression. So, the stuff starts out like this, and then it ends up to something else. And they're not going to teach you about this in church, about how sin progresses. It don't just say, so sin starts out as a little seed, just like faith. Faith of a mustard seed. Faith is like a mustard seed because you got to plant the seed. A mustard seed is one of the smallest seeds on the planet. But you got to plant the seed. You got to water it and watch it grow. The same way with sin. Sin start with a seed. One little thing. But you keep watering that sin, it's going to grow. It's going to sprout and it's going to grow. So all this sexual decadence and deviancy is going to lead somewhere. It's going to lead somewhere. And I can guarantee where sexual deviancy leads, it's going to be very bad for women because you won't have any protection. But you got these parents right here going on campaign with this little boy right here, going on campaign with him. Going on campaign, hiding behind him, using this boy as a shield. So now they can do whatever they want to do, and you can't say nothing because this young man is going to be the shield. These celebrities are getting smart in doing this. They're getting a child, and their child they adopt miraculously becomes trans at a very young age, at 4 and 5 years old, like a child know what being trans is at 4 and 5 years old. Y'all know Charlize Theron, y'all know Angelina Jolie, all these folks that we love, but for some reason their children are able to master their sexuality at 4 and 5 and 6 years old. It's absolutely insane. And nobody's upset about it because you want to be woke and you want to be liked. A lot of y'all gonna burn on Judgment Day. You're gonna burn. And you're gonna be sitting there. You're gonna be sitting there saying, because you're gonna think, I believe for a moment, you're gonna think, you're gonna say, because you're gonna be in the presence of God. I believe for a moment, you're going to be in the presence of the Most High. Just for one moment. And then you're gonna say, oh, I can imagine Thank you, Lord, you knew my heart, Lord. Lord, thank you for welcoming me. You knew I didn't mean all that stuff. You knew my heart, Lord. You knew my heart. You knew I really loved you. You know, you knew it. Everything I was doing because I was so hurt. You know, I was oppressed, Lord. I was black. I was black, Lord. You know, I was racism, Lord. But you saw through all that. And Lord, you still decided to let me into heaven, Lord. Thank you. Oh, thank you. And then God's going to say, depart from me. I do not know you. And in that very instant, all the light going to disappear. It's going to be total darkness. But you're going to hear something in the back. You're going to turn around, and in the far off distance, you're going to see a place. But you know it's not heaven. You know it's not eternal life. You know it's not heaven. But you can look and see it far off, but you can kind of hear some faint screams. As you're walking on that road, you're thinking about your whole life. First you blame God. You blame the angels. You're going to blame Jesus, Yeshua. You're going to blame your mama. You're going to blame your daddy. You're going to blame the government. You're going to blame the system. You're going to blame your friends. You're going to blame your teachers. You walking now. You walking. And then you're going to keep walking, and you're going to start running out of folks to blame. And the closer you get to hell is the very moment, right before you go into hell, you're going to realize it was all your fault. Right before you step into hell, you're going to realize it was all your fault. Many of you all are going to burn for what you all are doing now, because what you all are doing now is disgraceful. This boy kissing this boy and y'all defending it. But if I did it, y'all would throw me under the prison. It's disgusting that you're only giving this boy a pass and his parents a pass because the boy said he was trans. And you don't think y'all gonna suffer and pay for that? First the mask, then the mark of the beast. First the mask, then the mark of the beast. Let me go to this first. Biden's campaign 2 years ago, how the mask became a symbol of Biden's campaign. The devil is in the details. How the mask became a symbol of Biden's campaign. So I want you to think about all that has happened since Biden has become president, and then think about the symbol for it all is the mask. How the mask became a symbol of Biden's campaign, because the mask is the beast symbol. It's the mask. You know why it's the mask? Because they told you if you wear the mask, you're a good person. If you don't wear the mask, you're a bad person. Who would say something like that? Sound like Satan, don't it? If you wear the mask, you're a good person. If you don't wear the mask, you're a bad person. Who that sound like? If you wear the mask, you're a good person. People are going to accept you. They're going to like you. You're going to look democratic. You're going to look anti-Trump. Put the mask on. Show your obedience. Show your allegiance. If you don't wear the mask, they're going to hate you. They're going to laugh at you. They're going to think you're a Trump supporter. They're going to think you're a conspiracy theorist. You better wear the mask so you can be accepted. The mask is the mark of the beast. The mask is the mark of the beast. You know why? Because it's so easy to do. You can put it on or you can take it off. The easiest decision out of all this stuff that's going on is that mask. To put it on or to take it off. The mask is the mark of the beast. I'll let you sleep with me if you wear your mask. I can't have sex with you if you don't wear your mask. During sex? Yes. I want sex to be protected. You mean with a condom? We don't need a condom. We need a mask. This is where we're going. This is where we're going. How the mask became a symbol of Biden's campaign. You see, the mask is the mark of the beast because the mask shows allegiance. We already know the mask don't protect you. The mask don't protect you. We know that. Y'all know it. Well, y'all should have, hold on. They told you all to stand 6 feet apart and the virus won't get you. But somehow the virus managed to go from China to America. The virus can't travel 6 feet, but it can travel 4,000 miles, and y'all fell for it. That was the most ridiculous thing ever. The virus can't go 6 feet, but it can go 4,000 miles. Come on, y'all. Y'all, come on. Here go the mask right here.
Squares, check this out. April 2022, published study. For the first time ever in human history, microplastics are being found inside human lung tissue. In fact, 11 out of 13 patients that went for surgery recently had microplastics lodged in their lungs, causing God knows what type of damage. Guess what the most popular plastic found in the lungs was? The same exact plastics they use to make the face mask you idiots have been wearing all day, every day, for years, pretending like they're saving you. In reality, you're inhaling toxic Chinese-made plastics that lodge in your lungs and cause you all kinds of health defects. But keep wearing the mask because it's good for you, especially for your children. Hey, mask wearers, check this out.
So, and I'm gonna be clear on this. Most people wear the mask for social acceptance. Most people wear the mask for social acceptance. If you think about all the imagery that you've seen, most of the imagery behind this Peter pandemic has been the mask. You go, you see the mask on, even if you don't have to wear the mask in the store, they still have the sign up. You see that mask sign everywhere. This is the mark of the beast. People are wearing the mask for social acceptance, but it's really allegiance. And nobody is doing this stuff being deceived at all. No one's being deceived. This is all a revealer in a person's character. People didn't do this stuff because they were deceived. No, it wasn't deception. It was character. Because they told you if you didn't do this, there were consequences. Whether you were going to be called a Trump supporter, whether you were going to be ostracized for spreading something that didn't exist, whatever it was the social pressure that made you put the mask on, and it's the same social pressure that's going to make you get the mark of the beast. If y'all think this Peter pandemic propaganda was a lot, imagine the propaganda for the mark of the beast. It is this propaganda times 1,000,000. Can you imagine the propaganda behind getting the mark of the beast? Can you imagine? If you don't get the mark of the beast, they're going to kill you. Can you imagine the propaganda? If you don't get the mark of the beast, they're going to take your children. Can you imagine the propaganda. If you don't get the mark of the beast, they're going to put you in prison forever. Can you imagine the propaganda behind the mark of the beast? If you don't get the mark of the beast, you'll never be able to eat hot wings again. Never eat hot wings again? Never. No lemon pepper? No lemon pepper. No flats. No extra ranch. No nothing. Imagine the propaganda for the mark of the beast is going to be insane. So, I'm gonna just go real quick. Even that guy, that's that Andrew guy that says, I like women's, I love women's. You know him, the Andrew guy, the Andrew Caldwell. He even said that he's still a child and he shouldn't be kissing. Even the Andrew Caldwell dude even said he shouldn't be kissing because he's 14 years old. Come on, man. Even he said it. I'm trying to find him. I'm trying to find him for y'all real quick. He was a guy that said he got delivered.
Do you believe that the Lord tonight has set you free? Yes, sir. Turn around and tell those people. Tell them, I'm not gay no more. I am delivered. I don't like men no more. I said I like women. Women, 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 women. I said women. I'm not gay. I would not date a man. I would not carry a purse. I would not put on makeup. I will love a woman. Now, listen, y'all praise God with him. Hold on, wait a minute. Somebody believe God with him. Hey!
This the black church. This the black church.
We don't just preach condemnation.
This is the black church.
We preach reconciliation.
Look at it. That same church today, everybody jabbed up and masked up. This is why.
I wish I had some shown up believers that'll come down here and dance with him and tell him you can do it.
Go and dance with him. Dance with him. This what got y'all masked up and jabbed up right here. This is it. Now imagine y'all doing this for the mark of the beast. Imagine this happening for the mark of the beast. This same celebration is for the mark of the beast.
When I tell you, I want you to run down towards that camera and tell him I got a brand new life. Run right now. Run. Run. Because it's in front of you. Glory to God. Somebody shout better.
So, listen, I love you all. I really do. I just want you all to see what's happening. Here go to AKA right here. Y'all can't see. Here goes the AKA right here. And this is where we going. This is where we going. It's where we going right here. They're going to completely take over black culture. Completely. You got a stud here that's an AKA. This is only the beginning. It's only the start. It's only the beginning. This is only the beginning. Thank you, Navi. Thank you. It's only the beginning. And I don't want anybody to be confused. My issue is not with gay people or trans people or any people. My issue is with the system that controls all the movements. So I want to be very clear on this, not a personal attack on anyone. This is about the systems using your emotional insecurity, your inferiority, your lack of feeling like you belong to something against you, your low self-esteem using those things against you. That's what this is about. The system has an agenda for every movement. They don't care if we're divided as long as we're divided. But once the AK, think about AKAs getting completely taken over by the trans movement. Listen, when they start with sports, what do you think is next? Jobs next, sororities next. Everything that women have held as a foundation on this planet is going to be gone to the trans. Keep telling y'all. I keep telling y'all. I saw years ago when I had moved to Atlanta and my cousin was going to Spelman. I went to one of the parties and I saw a whole line of feminine alphas. When I was in school, I didn't see any, guys that were alternative lifestyle in fraternities. But when I came to Atlanta, I saw a whole line of a bunch of feminine. I had to do a double take. I thought it was a different sorority. I had to look again. It was some men. I thought I even heard them ski weeding, but they was alphas. But I'm just saying it was a bunch of men strolling. They was all feminine. So I'm just telling you all that black culture is going to be taken over by the LGBTQP, don't forget X, Y, and Z community. And at the end of the day, all this stuff is going to lead to you putting something in your body. Putting a device in your body, putting a chip in your body, and you are no longer going to belong to God. You are going to belong to man. Because the mark of the beast is really the mark of man. That's really what it is. It's really the mark of man, of mankind, the beast of the field. You don't belong to God. You don't belong to the Most High. You belong to man. You are of this world. That's why they want all the babies to be born of this world. They don't want any more natural childbirths. They want all the childbirths to be man-made because they want to have you birthed into the beast system. The mark of the beast is the mark of man. We are created by the Most High. This is why God had to stitch us in the womb. We are stitched in the womb by God. What these folks got planned is for them to create you out of something in the lab so you can be born into the beast system. The mark of the beast is the mark of man. It ain't nothing spooky. It's for you to take yourself from being created by God to being a product that man can patent. That's what they want. We ain't got to get deep. We ain't got to get deep. Listen, you all, I love you all, and I thank you all. And, what we got to do is we got to be honest with ourselves. We got to start hearing God, and when God is speaking, we got to stop and listen. Because all y'all hearing from God. All y'all hearing from God. They paying the transgenders in California in this one county $900 a month just for being higher. They're putting them on a higher level. They're already creating social classes. So we got to love each other. And I got to go. I love you all so much. I really do. And I want what's best for you all. And I want you all to start connecting these dots and start rejecting this stuff. This stuff leads to a place to where our children will not be able to have a peaceful life on this planet. These people are insane. The devil wants to take all of this stuff, man, and make it his. Devil don't want you to be from God. I don't care about y'all differences. I want y'all to be able to choose the life that you want for everybody. Even if a person want to choose to be something else, they should have the right to choose to be it, but not at my expense. I love you all, and I thank you all so much, and God bless you all. Thank you, Ultimate Girlfriend. Thank you, Agati Novice. Thank you, Mimi, Kenya. I think anybody else I missed. Thank y'all. I love y'all.